Good morning, YouTube. This is your girl, Deborah.7, making another video from Spiritual Inspiration. I basically got the idea of this video from watching different videos about spirituality on YouTube. And a lot of the things that I think and I say that I've realized, I really just picked up different places. And then I get on YouTube and I find all this information basically saying the same thing. So, I'm really encouraged and impressed at the number of people who are becoming interested in their truth seeking. I'm going to give a technique that I've used. I would say I started using this technique around about 7 years ago. And I do it every day. And it has aided me in the part of the spiritual path, which is know thyself. So I'm just going to share this technique. And I kind of came up with it on my own just because it seemed like a good idea. But I'm realizing that it could probably help somebody else. I will say this. With pursuing anything spiritual, there has to be some type of desire. There has to be some type of seeking inside of you that leads you down these paths. If you don't have the seeking at that moment in time, you can try it, but you won't be able to stick with it. That's why most people, everybody's spiritual path is completely individualized to that person. What works for somebody might not work for somebody else. But I'm going to share my technique anyway, just in case it works for somebody. Okay. So I go throughout the day and, live my life as normal. At the end of the night, when I get in the bed, I go over everything that happened that day in my mind. Like I'm between acts in a play, and I'm the actor on stage, and my life is the play. So, I sit back and I analyze my job as actor. How did I do? So I analyze the day's events and see everything that happened. And some of it's good, some of it's bad, some of it was awful. I began to put it in categories. I reacted to this too strongly. If I could go back, I would have spoke to that person in a more compassionate manner. I let my anger get the best of me when I was driving the car, and I began to see myself and see the things that I do. The technique is really good at night because you can do it one day at a time. So, you just go through everything. What you like, what you didn't like, what would you do differently? Everything about yourself. This is basically about yourself in this situation. You have to look at yourself as the main character of the play. Everybody else is supporting actors and supporting actresses. So you can't really focus on what they're doing at first. You can, if you're not ready to look at yourself, because some people aren't ready to analyze themselves. You can't analyze other people's actions and say to yourself what you would do differently if you were in that situation. It'll help you understand your personality better, and you can get to the point where you start analyzing your own personality. So, you ask yourself, did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish? What was your goal for that day? What is your goal in life? Your goal in life might be to be more loving, or to be more patient, or to be more understanding. So one day at a time, did you accomplish your goal in life, what you wanted to accomplish that day? If you don't know what your goal in life is, you just really have to really feel in yourself what you really want to do with yourself, what type of person do you want to be? It doesn't matter if it's based off Christianity or, Buddhism or whatever thing that kind of resonated true with you. What type of person do you want to be? Do you want to be like Jesus? It's the same thing as saying, what would Jesus do? So you have to, find the specifics of what you need to do to be the person that you want to be. Okay, well, next time I'm in the car, I need to practice patience when somebody cuts me off, or I need to practice empathy with relating to somebody else, or I need to get my anger out of control and stop lashing out at other people, my own personal problems. Whatever it is that you're doing that you find undesirable, or, and it's not a matter of oppressing it. It's not a matter of repressing it. You need to look at the situation as what it is. If it's a mistake, look at it and accept it for being a mistake. If you made a mistake, that's fine. That's going to happen. So you look at the things for what they are. Don't beat yourself up too much and don't hold it against yourself. Okay, tomorrow's another day. If you wake up in the morning, you wake up with a blank slate. Everything yesterday is in the past. It's yesterday. You use the lessons that you learned, that you analyzed that night, and then apply them to the next day. Some days you might be successful in applying a lesson. Some days you might not be successful in applying a lesson. But every night you analyze and say to yourself, were you successful? And then you modify, because it will begin to have you ponder why you can't get out of certain patterns. When you begin to know yourself, it's basically you're therapizing yourself. That's a word. I made that word up. It's therapizing. Therapizing is self-therapy. You're therapizing yourself. Instead of you going down and sitting down on the couch, you talking to you. You know yourself better than any therapist knows you. Can't nobody tell you about you like you. So what you're doing is you're sitting down and you're coming out of yourself to look at yourself, and then you're going back in. So, like I said, in the morning, you look at yourself as a clean slate. You wake up thankful for another day, thankful for another opportunity to give it right. When I was in church, the preacher used to always say, you thank God in the morning for letting you have the movement of your limbs and the facilities of your mind and be able to move. So that, first thing you do is wake up with Thanksgiving. You don't necessarily have to even say a prayer, but as long as you keep that thankfulness of being alive, you carry that around with you in your heart and your thoughts. That is your prayer. You understand what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to say out loud, I thank you, God. If you want to, that's fine, but not necessarily. Okay, so in the morning, you are a clean slate. You're a blank sheet of paper again. You forgive yourself for any failures. You don't write on there, I'm a failure. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you take that attitude into the next day, then you won't succeed in doing what you want to do. You're a blank slate. You are nothing. You're not successful. You're not a failure. What you are is you're an observer. You look, you experience things because the lessons are going to start coming at you. Whatever lesson everything is going to start happening as soon as you wake up. Your goal might be to be less stressed about the situation. So you might be making a conscious effort to relax in the situation and not let the situations overwhelm you. If you're a person such as myself, where the moment you wake up to go, 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 go. I wake up at 5:50 in the morning to screaming babies. That's how I wake up every day. That's how I rise out of my sleep. And sometimes that can get overwhelming because I wake up in a panic and I don't get a chance to wake up naturally. But if I'm working on stress, then the first thing I do when I wake up, take a deep breath, try to relax, try to do one thing at a time, try not to get overwhelmed. Now, sometimes that's not going to work for me. Some days I get overwhelmed. Some days I get frustrated. Some days, hell, I got to cry a little bit. I accept things as they come. So forgive yourself for any failures that you might have from the previous day before, and understand that failures and successes are just part of the game of life. They're going to come and go. They're temporary as well as everything else. Any negative emotions, have you ever heard the phrase, don't go to sleep, don't go to bed angry? Me and my wife vowed 9 years ago not to go to bed mad at each other. Some days we can do that, just regardless of what's going on. A couple of times we haven't been able to. I can probably count on two hands in 9 years. the times that we've gone being angry. You know, every day is not going to be a successful day. But at the end of the day, and you know, it's funny, you have to hold on. When you wake up, you actually have to pick up that negativity and put it back on your shoulders and walk around with it. Oh, yeah, I forgot I was mad at your ass because you did this and you did that yesterday. And you picked it right back up. And you started carrying it around with you. That is a choice that you're making. Because when you wake up in the morning, that thought has to pop up in your head. Oh, yeah, I'm mad at you. Now, you can choose to let that bag down and say, I'm going to let that go. That happened yesterday. That's in the past. Today is a new day. I'm a blank slate. Or you can choose to pick that up. See, the person observing you is the one watching you make the decision. Up in here, you chose to pick up that negative emotion of frustration and pick it up because you broke. You was broke yesterday. You was broke the day before. You might be broke tomorrow. Today is a new day. This is a new day. This is a new chance for your circumstances to change. This is a new lesson of events that's coming to you. This is a new wave of creation that is going to enter your life. So how are you going to handle it? How are you going to allow your karma to flow in and out of these events? You want to attract positivity to you. You want to not be broke. You have to put that out in order to attract that to you. So you can't get out of the state of being broke by being frustrated. I'm gonna let this video go because I'm gonna make a video dedicated to my daughter on a lesson that I have been working on with her. So talk to you guys later. Love you. Thank you always for watching, commenting, learning, teaching, all of that.